Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on.
All right, welcome to the Bring Me to Life podcast. We have a lot of great things to talk about, and last episode, I believe we talked about community, and the one thing we didn't mention was about the spirit guide community, especially including the angels, because I know we both love angels and have a lot of personal experiences and connections and channelings with them. So great episode. Welcome. I am Seleman.
I'm Shannon Shine.
Oh, Shannon.
Yeah, so it's really awesome to be able to just talk openly about the spirit guide connection here, because so many times I wanted to tell people about spirit guides or these angels that had led me to a situation, or people were always like, Shannon, how do you just know these things? And I'm like, well, I don't actually know these things. And there's not actually voices in my head, but there's just these energies that sometimes I channel through people, and I can feel that same familiar feeling. It's like a feeling of a familiarity, and they represent different entities to me.
So when you say entities, what do you mean by that?
So I talk about it in previous podcasts where I had these imaginary friends as a kid that weren't really imaginary. They were energies.
Yeah.
And I don't see them as people usually. Sometimes they channel through people. But I just feel a connection to the space around me that gives me a knowing or a message.
And that's you connecting with you think they're angels? So
I've met different kinds of them. So there's definitely the angels, the archangels.
Okay, what other kinds are there? Angels? So
in previous podcasts...
Ascended masters?
Yes, you've asked me in previous podcasts, how do I know the difference between, energies?
Right.
So there's different ones, and they feel different to me. And I feel like other people feel these things.
I think when some people, when they first get into it, they think people channel, these energies. They think it's, vocally, which we can talk about and do later, but I feel most people feel their communication. It's like telepathy. At least that's how I've experienced it before
with the archangels. So so you clearly communicate with them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I think to me they're one of the biggest guides in life, just because growing up in a Christian background, we learn about the angels, sending messages and stuff like that. And I've always felt connected to the angels. And my mom, ever since before I was even born, has had big connection to the angels that she finally acknowledged to me, which was...
She's told me some of the stories, and it's wild. That's where I kind of come into other connections to dimensions and past lives and things, because she's told me stories and I understand them on such a deep level, but it was because I lived them in different ways. So that's another way I connect with angels and people, experiences I've had. So they channel through timelines. They give you
incarnations.
Yeah, because they're not confined to time or space.
Right, they're infinite. They're omnipotent, like source is.
So they can be anywhere and everywhere all at once.
That's Sarah Hall confirms that. Absolutely.
I love Sarah Hall and her depiction of all the angels and things like that.
I know. So Sarah Hall does live shows where you can get readings for free. Some people actually donate to make sure they get one for sure. Which is all
check out Sarah Hall and
so helpful. Thank you.
Bring Me to Life Network.
Oh. So Sarah Hall has a show, Through the Eyes of the Angels, and it's everywhere too, Spotify and YouTube, everywhere, anywhere.
And she connects with angels on such a deep, beautiful level. If you're looking for somebody that has a direct line to the channel, check out Sarah Hall.
So she kind of channels in a different way, where she receives the message and then she shares it in her own beautiful, pure way, and
And she's the owner. She's got her own podcast.
Yeah.
We can go through her previous episodes, and she talks about her story a lot, just like we are here. So if you're looking to build your community and check out other awesome people that can channel angels and connect with them, and you want to do more of that, check out Sarah Hall. So going back to this, so you talk to angels, I talk to angels, but there's also these other entities. So let's clear that air.
Many other. Just like everything, macro, micro, however you want to say it, infinite, every way. So, like, obviously.
So there's the angels, but then I've also talked to energies that feel like kind of alien.
Yes, there are alien, Palladian energies, and like, I've had a lot of interactions with like other terrestrials. And
then I call some of them just the travelers. And I've had these visitors since I was a young child, and I didn't necessarily document. I do have journals. But
that you write about having seen a UFO or what?
No, not like
dreams.
Dreams, yes.
Being abducted.
That's a podcast for a different day. Like, I don't think I was fully abducted, no, but they've definitely. I feel like there's energies that are tapped in.
Aliens.
Aliens, broad term. I think it's just energy.
So they're angels. They're aliens. There are ascended masters. There are spirit animals.
Travelers. I call them travelers.
Guides.
Yes, guides. Yes, that's the other term I really love. Spirit guides, because they are just like an energy. Like we were talking about how you don't have to always physically touch them, but then they do channel through people. I have so many stories where Archangel Michael channeled, and there's always these like Michael characters.
Because I've channeled Archangel Michael many times in many recordings, and one thing that he always talks about is how each individual person has like their own receiver basically to that frequency. So everybody, for some reason, mine is like has an accent and stuff, and I don't know. It's cool though.
You're just being you,
right? Just letting it come through. Just letting it come through, and you know, there's a method to channel vocally to let them like come in through basically your body and use your vocal cords.
So when did you start channeling?
I started channeling guides when I began reading. I think it was after the mountains. I came back, right? I came back after the mountains, and I got this job. And I got the same jobs back, started doing the same thing.
I was just pointing out when you talk, it keeps going red, and I didn't know if that mattered.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay.
And mark it down. So
you started channeling.
I started channeling so I got back from the first trip to the Rocky Mountains, where I got led to the top of the mountains from this dude, and then I get back, and I very soon got the same 2 jobs back, got in this kind of like the same routine, but like I was more obsessed with like chakras and meditation and stuff. Like I was still working the jobs, but I would come home, and instead of like looking up or just doing random things, like I started looking into meditation and started making art and started apparently channeling. And so I found somehow this channel to the Galactic Federation of Light. And they would write out these things every day, and I would print them out, and I would read them in the bathroom. And so I like tapped into the channel of this like extraterrestrial energy. Like the Galactic Federation of Light is like a bunch of planets from all over the universe. So that one got kind of fucked up though at the end, because at the end it was like there was one last post after, for some reason it was like months and months and months of like nothing. And then all of a sudden it was one post, and before everything got deleted, and it was like, everything that has been channeled has been a lie. None of this is real. What? And I was like, something like happened, because for it to stop like that, and then all of a sudden your last post is
Do you
like,
think that person's okay somewhere?
I hope so. God, I hope so. If not, I pray that they go to like a better,
It is interesting to me how
living.
like prophets, sorry.
Better higher living.
You guys go to a better higher living. That's what we hope's happening. But there were people like I could go down the Dream Virtue rabbit hole. Like, what happened to her? She was like so into the spiritual thing, and then boom.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful what energies you let in.
Yeah.
Like I talked about on the last episode. Like you got to learn to protect yourself. So when you're channeling angels and like in this galactic federation, like I did, you got to make sure that you're protected. You got to make sure you're grounded. You got to stand, if you can, with bare feet on the ground and breathe in the air and drink water. And
I think that I just bring those people up too because like when
that's
she
a
came
good
out
point,
with her
though.
stuff though,
Yeah.
because she was the big angel lady for the longest time.
Huge.
Dream Virtue. Like I had a bunch of her decks because my aunt. That's how my aunt kind of got into
Mainstream.
angels.
Fucking
And like
mainstream.
when she all of a sudden was just like burn all my things.
Oh my goodness.
And
what the?
So many of us are like, what? No.
It's devastating
And-
because that's a huge leader that is like,
I think that's why it's so important to follow your
Ooh.
own path and
Oh.
not
True,
not
you
idolize
have to.
anything. So
You
we're not
have to
even
follow
saying you
your
have to
own
follow
path.
our path, dude. Like do your own research, be your own existence. We're just glad to be a part of it.
yes.
But like still there was so she came out and was like anti-angel, and I think that there was like a 6-month period where I was like, is it all a lie? Like, did I just get rabbit holed like the church again? But then I realized that it's really my own experience. And like, I've had conversations with Archangel Michael. Like,
Right.
I'm sticking to it. Like, he has been a part of my reality.
The important thing is that you have your own connection with spirituality, with these guides. You can't allow somebody to be the messenger for you. You got to like
Find your own faith.
go within to find the message.
Yeah, like, what do you believe in? It's okay.
So like when you are out there like channeling, first thing you got to do is make sure that you're protected. Imagine like a light around you, or like you can call upon like, dear angels, please protect me while I like channel and allow only pure energies to channel through me. Are there any pure energies that want to channel through me? And then what you do is, as you request that, you continue to talk just very like with that intention, hyper focus, like that's the only thing on your mind. And as you talk, you'll begin to notice your voice will change, and maybe you'll like get a little bit of a different accent, or your tone will change, or something. And that's something channeling through you.
Don't be afraid to record yourself either.
Right. I used to record it all the time.
That's why we're here.
All the time.
But that's how you get the messages. You speak. So you're always, and most humans are channeling, but not like, don't get obsessed with that thought either. Just realize that you're talking about what you need to hear about the most.
Exactly. Every day.
So-
no matter if you are like hyper channeling an angel or not.
Right.
Like you are your own channel. It's
you
important
are your best teacher.
to yes.
That's how you channel. You realize that. You realize that only you know the lessons that you need to learn, and sit down with yourself and journal it. That's another way that I connect with them is I just journal, because then I go back and I read and I'm like, oh, I wrote that. Oh no, Spirit showed me what I was going through so I can see it from a different perspective and grow from it. And that's how I channeled it. It worked through me and my pen.
Writing is perfect channel. Like you just start writing.
Yeah, and typing. Sometimes I just type.
Just start typing.
Because I can type faster than I can write. But then there's also this cool voice to text feature now. So you can just document yourself. Because, I mean, think about it. Like some of the greatest scientists and stuff, that's how we know that they were brilliant people, is because they were willing to document it. And we see that they were channeling
recorded it and history found it.
Yeah, and they were channeling it. We're like, oh, these people were brilliant. Oh, they were just recording their every move.
That's... I have a journal that goes back to 3rd grade.
You do? It's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have some too. Mine are just like really weird.
I say over the last 2 or 3 years, I have every single day close to.
Oh man, some of my.
But sometimes it's something stupid and little like, I don't feel good today.
I also my art. My art is my journaling. So there's an archangel named Jophiel. Jophiel is the archangel of
Hey, Jophiel.
And I realized, so there's this one energy. This is how I know they're different energies. And they're like, I connect with them through different aspects of life.
Did you say the archangel of fudge or
Fudge?
yeah?
Where did you get fudge?
What is Jophiel the archangel of?
Art.
Okay.
Okay. Selo thinks there's an archangel for fudge. There probably is.
I don't probably infinite.
The one that loves to cook.
Micro macro. It's like infinite possibilities. There's an archangel for everything. What do you love the most? There's an archangel for it.
There is. So real quick, I want to give Jophiel a shout out. She's the archangel of art. So like, you know how there's all those different what? Oh, I'm not in the microphone. Usually I'm so loud, guys. He wants me to be louder. Okay, so
I'm just like because of the chair, my body's like.
I'm so comfortable right now. We upgraded our art, so Jophiel was like, "Yo, guys, you need to upgrade your channel space."
These lights in here kind of make it feel like infinite space.
We have a new studio, and it feels great. We will keep upgrading. It's gonna be amazing.
Never stop improving.
We just made do with what we had. Actually,
I heard myself say that.
One room to another. We didn't like super upgrade. We just moved from one room to another and gave ourselves permission.
Let's use these laptops. Yeah, we got a mixer. Thank you, everyone who helped me get that mixer. I love you all.
Well, so that gives me a great segue. So Archangel Jophiel, she tells you when you need to be more creative, and it's a specific energy. And I think I just call it Joe. It doesn't even have to be.
Yeah, Jophiel is like, that's a short term for it.
Yeah, so I've realized that through my realities, they show up. Yeah, they show up in like physical realities in weird ways. And they have these like closely connecting names.
Should we count how many Joes are in your life?
Oh, wow. A ridiculous amount. Your brother's name is Joe. My uncle has a Joe.
Oh, there's some Michigan Joes.
So many
Joe
Joes.
Geiger from Maryland.
I have so many Joes.
At least like 6 or 7.
And all of these people like inspired different aspects of me. And they come in and they're like, there's probably some of the people that really love the creativity in me.
Pretty much every Joe I know has got like a really good place in my life.
You're good old Joe.
Good place in my heart. All the Joes.
Shout out to all the Joes. But yeah, so Archangel Jophiel. The cool thing about archangels is they don't really have like a specific gender. So it could come as a girl named Joe. I have a lot of Joannes.
Yeah, if you look at some pictures of Archangel Michael, it does look.
They can be guys or girls. So that's
right.
Okay, so there's all these people that talk about how we're moving into a genderless energy. And I think it's part of the ascending. Like the angels don't have genders, really. Sometimes they're depicted as it because it makes us feel comfortable, and it's usually an artist somewhere that. It's
because I feel like we're in a dualistic perspective on this planet, but I think that paradigm is beginning to shift, and everything is opening up. So I think that's the influx of.
Yeah, there's a comedian named Jessa Reeves. She talks about how it's like. She talks about aliens and stuff too, but she also talks about how. It's, I kind of forgot where I was going with it, but she talks a lot about these things. What were we just talking about?
Yeah. All of it.
She would think this is hilarious. So these different people come into
They're
our
like
lives.
Non-binary, basically.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what. Okay, so she was talking about how they also told her, they as in like the aliens, that we were going to move into a genderless society. And I had this download too. I think that's why I've always just like, I love gay people. Like, they're fine with me. I'm okay with it because I'm like, what is the gender roles? What? I've never constrained myself to those. The only thing I really don't do is like burp and fart, and it's just not part of it.
I think part of like my personality is like I'm a free spirit, and I was reading something that's just like I love humanity, and why would you try to limit yourself to like anything that you might feel? Because I feel like most people are curious at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to this, you've had to have one of these experiences by now. You wouldn't just be listening to this if you're like, oh, I've never had that. What the heck are they talking about? You would have turned this off. You've had an experience with an angel or an energy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Admit it to
the angel
yourself.
thing for sure. Yeah, like angels.
They're everywhere, dude. You just
Spirit
feel them.
guides,
If
all
not,
the spirit
okay,
guides. You can call upon the sun. You could call upon the directions.
yeah, what do you
the
call
elements.
it? I'm open to it being called different things.
Yeah.
There's elementals. There's people that say the Great
fairies.
Spirit. Maybe they only connect with God, but that's still, you're connecting with an entity.
Dude, God has so many different guides.
In forms.
In
Angels are
forms.
like they're
In
his
names.
informants. Like if you believe in a specific God, okay, that's fine. But archangels like tell him what's going on. Like he's everywhere, but he's got people.
I think all the like versions of what we're told are just like aspects of one. Because it's all one. We're all one. Like, like they're all fucking the same.
Okay, so you're channeling before you even go on these crazy spiritual adventures.
So when I was working at one of these jobs, after I was like reading these channelings, I started having some crazy experiences. And I remember one time I was on my way from the retirement home that I was working at, and I think I was rollerblading or something, and there was a frog in the road, and I'm like, and I felt really weird, but I wanted to pick up the frog. So for some reason, I just like picked up the frog. Mm-hmm. I guess I wanted to help it across the road or something. And I started speaking, and I started talking exactly like Terrence McKenna. And I was like, what is happening?
What does it mean to talk like Terrence McKenna? Explain. I don't know what you're talking about.
So you know how Terrence McKenna has the voice like the psilocybin mushrooms.
Okay.
And he just has this profound wisdom about him. Like it's this infinite, unique wisdom that, and I was reading these channelings. I was watching a lot of Terrence McKenna, and I picked up this animal, and I was just speaking to it.
So you turned on the antenna to the same frequency.
I basically turned on the antenna to the Terrence McKenna like energy, and it transported through me, and the frog helped me to unlock that for some reason. Huh. I thought it was pretty freaking cool.
University. You have a frog totem.
That was one of the ribbit.
You do love frogs, actually. Now I think about it. Wow.
Can you believe
jumping too?
How many orgies frogs have?
What?
Do you know what they're out there singing about? They're so happy. They are so happy. They're like the most happy and like creature that you'll come across. And they eat the fucking bugs. Fuck yeah.
Okay. Let's get back on topic.
So, the topic, channeling the Terrence McKenna was like my first experience of channeling a higher frequency. The next time I did it, I believe, was on my adventure, the Lost Season. I was traveling with my friend Wes, who you've met, and we were on our way to 3DL. And on our way, we stopped at this dude who we met at the event that I met him at. And he let us stay at his condo.
So many random angels in your life.
I know. And all of a sudden, I started channeling this energy. Like, I was by myself because I feel safest there. And I was like putting my stuff away. And all of a sudden, I sat up. I started crying my eyes out. And I started like channeling this like source energy. And it was talking about loving me so much. And like, don't worry, everything's going to be all right. Like, you're on the right path. Like, and that was like the next big, there's so many more like that's happened throughout my existence from up to right now. I
love it. No, I think it's great that you can talk about these things. I'm enjoying being a listener, but I think it's also cool. Like real quick, going back to what I was talking about when I was giving shout outs to Joe.
Yes. Joe, what a good guide.
Yeah, so Joe Fiel is an archangel. You can check into it. It's the creative one. So I go through these spurts in life where I need to be more creative. And that's how I get my artistic flow on. And I feel like I'm like, okay, what do I need to learn lessons about? I plant a lot of seeds. I paint a lot of trees. And it was instilled in me through Joe Fiel, who is also connected to nature. And so is Ariel. That's one of my other Dude,
nature. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, favorite angels is Ariel. So they give me these visions when I have ideas. Like, I'm an idea person. If you ever talk to me in person.
Oh my goodness. Shannon has nonstop ideas.
It's because they give them to me. It can't just be me.
You're just like, Elon Musk with like all these
Someone
ideas.
give me a budget and I'll create a better one. I love ideas.
Bringing in all this abundance, and your guides. There's Lakshmi, who's one of a guide who can help you bring in abundance.
If anybody gives me like a project, I can come up with ideas. I can't necessarily always be the one to follow through because I'm focused on the ideas. I'm an innovator.
Shannon innovates more, and then whatever else is important gets done.
I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm doing it,
dude.
But like, people will be like, "Oh, I want to start this business, but I don't even." Oh, you can do this, 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 this. Okay, done. Oh, wow! And then the next month, they're like living their dream. I love it. Connect with me on that. Anyway,
there's people out there who are doing
not even
it.
Me. I wanted to say the angels help.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but you need people in there who are helping you feel that way. It's a good community. So these angels.
So the angels have helped. Ariel is really good with nature and confidence. So I've always there's these energies that come around and they boost me up when I'm down. So I call them angels. So the aliens, they're more of like the travelers. They're the ones that give me downloads. They're the ones that are like, oh, this is what's going to happen. The angels are like, oh, we're going to warn you. We're going to kind of tell it to you a little sugar-coatedly sometimes.
I feel like, angel is more of like a divine light, and then aliens is like a weird kind of trippy,
that other parent that's like
psychedelic trip.
Yeah. The psychedelic trip. But it's like, so the angels, they come to me when I'm like, I need it sugar coated in a way. They're like, we're here to take care of you. Totally. We need you to know that shit's about to get real. But
I'm sure there's some though that
yeah, there's the Archangel of Death. I've hung out with her a lot.
I guess it depends on what you can take, because
that's how they'll show up to you. So sometimes I need them as people. Sometimes I just feel them.
Yeah.
So like Joe feels like, yo, girl, go to your studio and paint. Just paint. And then Ariel's like, you need to go for a walk. Why haven't you been outside? They're like all these parents that you needed that tell you the exact thing you need right when you need it.
That's a good analogy. And who would you say in your life right now is like, what kind of angels or guides maybe are coming into your life more at in this stage of your life? In this new chapter?
Well, I have a funny story of how they helped me.
Ooh.
Chamuel.
So,
I want to talk about, shout out to Sarah Hall again.
I would say Chamuel is a champion.
Chamuel. So he's the Archangel of Peace.
Did you say shout out to Sarah?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it. Archangel Chamuel is peace, relationships, and finding things with calmness. So we took a break in the podcast because we lost a hard drive that was really important to our existence.
Man,
okay.
Every time I think about that, I feel so good now. I'm like, it's like a whole weight has been lifted.
Oh my gosh. We're coming back to you, but this is okay. So this is the funny story. All right. So we've taken a break and we've lost the hard drive that has all of our stuff on it. I mean, I have some of the stuff, but we have just enough stuff that says keep going, but not enough. It's enough to be like, maybe we need to restart and rethink everything.
I know.
I was making our last podcast before we started getting real. And
I had to
I'm excited to finish this story.
Okay.
So I'm telling the universe what am I supposed to do? Give me a sign. I know we're supposed to keep doing these podcasts and these series.
Yeah.
So Selo really continues. Nice. He doesn't let it stop him from going on with Sarah Hall. He can, because she is awesome. She is a channel that is on point every month. And so I'm telling the universe, so you have to tell your angels. So this is one thing. The aliens will they're like, okay, the travelers. Travelers is sometimes a term that people accept more. There's these entities that tell us through our dreams and stuff.
It's also a good movie.
Travelers?
Ann Arbor, Michigan? Come on now.
I feel like I've seen it, but I'm terrible at movie titles.
It's like, oh no, Jumpers.
I'll be like, oh, I didn't.
I was thinking of Jumpers.
I love Jumpers.
I know I do too, but I thought they were the same.
I need to get back. What was I talking? Just
travelers, all these travelers.
So the travelers, they just tell me. They don't need permission. The angels need permission, okay? So these are our angels.
Why do the travelers not need permission?
Because they're not contained by time or space, and they're kind of rogue. They're like rogue angels.
Yeah, but if we still live in if we have free will on this dimension.
I mean, you don't have to believe the travelers. They're just going to tell you anyway. Like, you don't have to listen
travelers
to them.
Are just communications, like,
I mean, they
like
could be a random person,
like a radio signal that goes out, and you're like,
so I used
you're
to
in
have
the
a
area,
shop.
so you pick it up.
Yeah, so I used to have a shop, and I would ask for messages from the universe, and I would get travelers, and they would give me the exact message I needed to hear. But it was
what kind of message would that be?
Like one day I was just really feeling down, and this guy named Mike comes in, and I'm like, "What?" We have this whole conversation.
Good old Mike.
But that was an angel, so he sugarcoated it. So that's one thing. So he was somebody who, like, when I gave the universe permission. I said, "Give me a sign that this is going to be all right." And Mike came in and cheered me up. Oh, and I have a traveler friend called the Roadmaster. It's also named Joe.
Whoa.
Hi, Joe. You are one of my spirit guides. No wonder you came
Roadmaster.
in.
So what's the Roadmaster?
He travels across the world cheering people up because he's a Joe. I love him. And he's got Anna, who's also probably Ariel. I just realized you guys are archangels, and you didn't even realize you're earth angels. So there's all these people that are earth angels. Anna. Like, people always are like, "You're an earth angel." And I'm like, "Oh, I was just channeling that angel for you at that time because I'm an open channel." Like, so I'm an earth angel because I'm a channel.
Yeah. There are people who go by that kind of.
Yeah, like, I don't want to. I'm humble. I don't go around saying I'm an angel. I mean, Sarah's even like, I'm a channel.
Right.
So anyway, I need to stay on this story. So I'm pissed at the universe.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, travelers. So travelers would just come into my shop and they would just tell me their whole life story, and I would learn the message from them. They are channels in a different way. They just tell you everything with no filter, and you learn from what you learn. Angels usually have a set message, and you give them permission to teach you the lesson. You're like, okay, so for example, I was like, "Angels, I'm really wanting a sign that we continue doing what we're doing."
Is this when you were pissed?
Yeah, because you lost the hard drive.
Oh yeah.
For like 2 months.
Man, it has.
And you know where
like
it was?
all of our networks.
You're gonna love this story, guys. Okay, so the angels, I think, hid it from you. I'll give you. First of all, I think it was hidden because I go back to what I was saying. Like, it gave us just enough to realize to keep going. So I decided that we were redoing everything, and we were going to be more blunt because they just wanted us to channel this way. But also, so I gave it up, and he was recording Sarah Hall, and I was outside, and I get a super clear channel when I'm out in my she shed. I'm working on jewelry. You can check out my jewelry at shantasticshine.com, where it's all kinds of crystals because I'm just an open channel there. Yeah. So I listened to Sarah Hall when you record, and she's like, "So Archangel Chamuel has a message," and she just starts talking in this reading for somebody else about how Chamuel is the angel finding things. This is before I had my meltdown, actually. This is kind of like mid-meltdown because I've been freaking out for 2 months that this hard drive's missing. Yeah. Key part of our business. We have so many hard drives, but this one I really wanted at this time because I'm feeling this right now.
My favorite one.
So she says Chamuel, and I'm like, okay.
So you're listening to Sarah Hall, and she says Chamuel is the angel
finding things. So I've been actually,
her, like,
I usually call on Saint Anthony because Saint Anthony's another guide. Yeah. So St. Anthony's like this other energy. He's actually lived. He's been a prophet and all the things.
Dear St. Anthony, please look around. Something is lost
and must be found. So I usually say that one, and that helps. Yeah. St. Anthony and I are homeboys. He's helped me find many things. He loses things all the time. I find them. I lose things. He finds them because we are not attached to him, but we were both attached to this hard drive. So
a little bit till I gave up.
I asked the angels for a sign. They channeled it through Sarah. Sarah said Chamuel. I hope she hears about this story. You'll have to tell her. And so I'm like, okay, the next time I really want something, I'm going to call upon Chamuel. Go figure. I was like, oh. So I'm having my meltdown trying to edit the last podcast. And I'm like, this freaking hard drive. And I just look up and I just shout out, Chamuel, please, just like, show us the freaking hard drive.
Wait, you shouted out like out loud?
Yeah, I was at this point, I was physically yelling. And I think the universe was laughing. And as soon as I said that, you know what freaking happened, dude?
I came up.
You came upstairs.
And brought you the hard drive.
You probably thought I was like singing or something, and I'm yelling.
It sounded like a teapot going off.
Oh my! Because I was progressively getting madder. He was like downstairs cleaning or something, and I'm up here yelling at archangels.
I had realized, so during the DJ, like, oh shoot, like I still have my friend's hard drive.
So we've DJ'd many weddings while this hard drive's been missing.
Yeah, and like, so our friend let us borrow his,
hide it,
and I put it in the pocket, in one of the pockets that I've checked hundreds of times. I checked
your
maybe not hundreds,
laptop bag
a lot of times. Yeah,
I checked it 3 times because I usually check a place 3 times.
Yep, checked it. So I pull out like this big bundle of cords. There. I pull out this big bundle of cords with like his hard drive that's in it to get it out for him, and there it is.
I could
my hard
not
drive.
Freaking
and I was
believe
like,
you.
I was like, kind of upset because we were very frustrated.
We don't yell at each other much, guys. We're pretty like a solid couple. Like we'll get mad and we'll be like whatever for like 10 minutes, but this was getting heated.
Yeah, and then I was like really happy but really angry at the same time.
Wow, how is this even? Chamuel.
And so I just came up and gave it to you, and I was like,
so that's like his example.
I was like, here you go.
I gave him permission.
And then after that, I thought every time I think about it, I feel great.
He had permission to travel through time and space to make it visible. I looked under the couches. I looked in my. I thought, okay, so it's been lost. Why we didn't have our car? I searched my van.
Thinking about having it missing. Like that's.
I searched my van.
Back it up.
Yeah,
search your van,
up, dude.
Dude, we searched the van so many times. I looked under so many seats. Oh.
I looked at the shops everywhere we'd been to. I was messaging. We had friends meditating on it. All we had to do was tell Chamuel,
please help us find this.
But you know what else it was? Yes. They forced us to be here now so that we could channel this way. It was not until we basically committed. I was like, okay, we're rethinking how we're doing things. They took this from us for a reason.
Yeah.
What are we missing? We're missing that they want us to be here showing up because we hadn't been for a little while. We took summer to like focus. We took a year to focus. This time last year I was in a terrible place. You did not want to hear me talk. It was I had to learn from some shadows.
Back at it.
Yeah. It was a scary health time, so I'll say that. There was some things that went down. And we went through a spiritual awakening again. It comes in waves.
Oh yeah. Oh. Sends like shivers up my spine.
I'm just thinking about where we were last year, and I'm just like, wow. Like us as a couple, we've been great. Thanks for being awesome. Like co-creating a life with somebody that's like on the same level is key.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Don't force yourself to be with somebody that doesn't make sense.
I've like been so grateful for that, and having the communication's been awesome, and also like being able to bring up things that I never would have, like, I would have been so scared to is great. Like, just having somebody that you can talk to and you can share your feelings, and it definitely changes how I feel about things, but.
Definitely. But it's like, you're able to be open, and I think it's beautiful when people can be open.
Yeah.
So I'm really connected to Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael's like my homeboy. And so I've been talking to an Archangel Michael entity of whatever that is for me. I can't even really describe it, but it's been my imaginary friend. It's been my angel. They show up, and so I have so many Mikes in my life. Joe's, Mike's, Frank.
Yes.
Frank. So Frank, I haven't figured out. I think Frank is like
Frankenstein.
A Raphael energy too. So like some people you don't need that many Raphaels.
And then they tried to change it.
Yeah. So I've also realized there's a lot of like weird things in my reality, like Frankenstein, and like words that should mean good things, like manifest destiny. Manifest your destiny should be a good thing, and it's like terrible.
I like it because I think your destiny is something that you don't have to accept.
You're right, but manifest destiny is something in history. Like the term manifest destiny is actually something terrible.
We don't need to look it up. You're gonna do it. Okay, she's gonna look it up.
Kind of, because I'm like, I want to know why society like does things like that. Anyway, so Archangel Michael,
it changes things around so that we feel weird using the terms, the tools that God has given us to use on this world.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I kind of like relate it to Harry Potter too. It's like he who must not be named, like those things that must not be spoke of. But yeah, manifest destiny. So like,
I love Harry Potter. I love me some Harry Potter.
Yeah. So manifest destiny actually in history was like a doctrine or belief that the expansion of like the U.S. through American continents was justified and inevitable.
The what?
That basically that the U.S. was going to take over
the whole world.
The American continents. That's what the definition of manifest destiny is. That in 19th century, the U.S. taking over American continents was both justified and inevitable. And it also talks about like, it's how they destroyed the native population.
What?
It's basically the story of like,
yes, Columbus.
Yeah. So manifest destiny has this bad name because of Columbus. We'll get into that in a different podcast.
Oh, definitely.
But Archangel Michael. So Archangel Michael's my homeboy, and he channels through all these different people.
Dude, the Native Americans have some incredible spirit guides.
So they have the spirit guides, and then they have the
like air
star
elementals.
children. They have the star
They're
children,
very connected
which is
to
their, like,
nature,
aliens.
to star children, to like spirit guides.
And that's why the people that run the U.S. that want to control your brain and all that whatnot, they're like, these people don't know what they're talking about. They just love the trees.
It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous what our country has done. And I don't know. I send all those people so much love.
Yeah,
like,
I'm glad I'm in the land of the free.
all.
At least I can talk. Thanks, internet, for now.
I think this is great.
We're doing it.
It's gonna be perfect.
So Archangel Michael. I've had some real conversations with people named Michael that I feel like have channeled. I can see it like it in their eyes, like you said, their voice changes, and sometimes they don't even realize what they're saying. Like I'll talk to them later, and they're like, "I said that? That's so inspiring." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude,
Really?
you just channeled that to me. You do that to me sometimes. I'll say like, you said this to me, and you're like, oh." And I think you're a really divine Archangel Michael channel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've made a pact with him, or I even come like from his star whatever.
Yeah, well, I think that's why we vibe so well too, because like when I called in my tribe, I was like, Archangel Michael, can I just like have you in like reality? Can you
dude.
just like come be
Michael's
my
been
best
with
friend?
me my whole life.
And there you came. And like your
My
like,
dad's name Michael, middle name Michael,
your brother's name is Michael.
brother name Michael. 2 Michaels
We know
my
some
whole
cool
life.
Michaels and
So many Michaels. Mike.
No,
Michael.
lots of Mikes that have just been. Another one is Paul. So the other thing I realized too are these. They're also like disciples' names. People that show
The
up in
Council
our
of
physical
13.
reality. The reason they were disciples in like the Christian portrayal of them is because they were channeling these archangels too in the physical form, and that's just how they wrote it out. Some whoever helped write the Bible, they were just channeling these specific angels too, and they just got very specific with their rules. Somebody got greedy somewhere. Go figure. I'm just willing to accept their messages, but Archangel Michael is really awesome, and I think it's cool how you channel him too.
it's great. Like,
somebody in the Bring Me to Life challenge start a Archangel Michael thread. Talk about how you've connected with Archangel Michael. I want to hear about it. What was your experience? That's why the Bring Me to Life challenge is a group on Facebook. Somebody start talking about how you connected. Like, I want it to be from your heart. Don't just make up some shit. Like, I want to know. Like, we're telling real stories here. Connect.
So I was gonna say like, and then I forgot, but now I remember. The Council of 13 is something that I've like. It's been a mystery to me most of my like awakening, and it's like becoming slightly more clear, but not really. But it's like
Council of 13.
Council of 13.
There's probably like 13 archangels. I'm not that like specifically.
I think there's some
them.
kind of. So I have like I've had experiences where I've channeled angels, or I've had a dream where an angel has led me to a space. It was like this dream where I was in Hawaii for real, but I was dreaming of this spot in Hawaii.
Oh, your Hawaii stories are great.
I was like dreaming and lucid dreaming of this spot in Hawaii while I was sleeping in Hawaii, and this like angel led me to this like circle of 13. I might have been like the 13th one or something, and in the center of it was this planet, and it had like all these marks on it of like hotspots or something.
Wow. I also love how, so I'm a visual person, and I like to see things, and then when I see other people are kind of on that same vibration, it starts to make me first think I'm crazy, like did they tap into my brain? So like you were doing that, and it kind of made me think of like the dark crystal thing, how there's all the different planet shapes. But like that was kind of a thing when we were a kid, but like that person was obviously on that vibe too. Like he was checking in that council in a different way.
Channeled in a kind of creepy way, but like
That's what I'm
beautiful
saying, but
because so many fucking people watched it.
And how many people did you see on
watched it.
Facebook being like, it changed my life? Like that guy was a channel for those people. That's what that's how they needed to see
I want
it kind of
the
creeped me out.
geldlings to like Gelflings
They were
to like
cute.
have a better life. I don't even know what happened at the last one. Hopefully they got together, had some Gelfling babies.
I can't remember either because I was distracted. It was kind of scary to me.
It was kind of.
I wasn't really into it, but some
So
people
my
were.
Council of 13 was a little bit different. Like it was like they were hooded figures. They could have been angels, but it was like it was different. It was different. It was almost like they were like ethereal.
And you think they were the
hooded.
archangels?
And they could very well be. They could be like
they just couldn't show themselves to you.
It could be more like archetype.
There are like some mean archetypes. I've realized.
Because archetype could be anything. Mm-hmm. So it could be more like that. Could be a real thing. As the archetypal council of 13, where it could represent 13 angels, 13 disciples, 13 specific crew members that you have.
I mean, there's also like the so that takes us into like the Atlantean Martian theology too, and there was like, wasn't there 13
Lemurian
spots? Yeah, like 13 spots on like the tree of life theory.
When I was close to Hawaii before I got there, I drank this mushroom tea and went to sleep. And I had this dream where this hooded figure that I just am realizing I was like learning from in Hawaii. What the fuck?
So this is just one time that you took some mushrooms. This isn't always happening.
This was on the lost season, near the end of it.
Season. Okay.
Before I went to Hawaii, and before I had this dream of the council, this hooded figure, the same hooded figure, leads me to the edge of the cliff where basically California is, and drops off
or a dream
into it's a dream.
Okay.
That I'm having.
Oh, on the mushroom. Okay.
On mushroom tea.
Okay.
Because the mushroom wasn't like, it wasn't doing a lot. Like I drank a decent amount of it, so I thought I should have been, but it was all like lucid dreaming or astral projecting, basically. Like all my energy was basically going to astral projecting, like looking back at it right now. And so this hooded figure takes me to the edge of the cliff, California, where like I could see the ocean, and all of a sudden it's like watch, and all of a sudden I feel this rumbling, and all of a sudden like the tip of this island, basically Hawaii, is like the tip of this mountain, and it starts raising up, and it's like, this is Lemuria. And I'm like, holy moly, like it freaking shows me Lemuria before I go to Hawaii.
Wow. I mean, that I believe it. I've had some intense experiences that have showed me different parts of like Atlantis and the Akashic records and stuff. So that's why I had to like analyze for a while, like, am I crazy? And then when I realized other people are having these experiences and they just don't want us to talk about it, because then we'll start to realize that, oh, wow, there's more to life than what they teach us as kids, because people are still figuring it out.
There are kids who are coming back with way more like knowing that they had a previous life that they just came from.
I get so excited when kids are like, let me tell you about this life. Now you can see it in the ones that are like trying to get attention, which then I'm just like, I want to give them attention because they need it. But some kids can really like, they're just such divine channels.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had to decipher for a while which I was too. Huh? I had to decipher at one point, like which one of those kids I was. I was like, do I want attention? I was like, attention's cool, but no, I have a divine message. Yeah. Like that sounds like I want to be humble about that. Yes. Like I'm willing to accept that I think there's something that's not being said here. Even since I was like as young as I could talk, I'd be like, no, like talk about the things you guys don't want to talk about the most.
Let's talk about these guides. Let's talk about the ascended masters and the angels. And, I don't think it's like we have been saying not to idolize any of them or see them as like something higher than yourself, because we're all aspects of the one.
Mm-hmm. And I'm realizing too that like, so I love comparing things to like the Bible and Christianity and things like that. So like we have the lost season of Bring Me to Life, and there's lost books in like other people's things. So like you can just take our word for it. And that's why we're trying to be here, like real with you. Like we don't have proof of it this time, but this is our most spiritual experiences.
I have some pictures.
Yeah, like our most spiritual experiences though don't always happen so that we can prove them to you. You have to take people's word for it.
Stories is huge. I was just thinking about this. Is like in Game of Thrones, they chose Bran the Broken because he was the story holder.
Spoiler. Huh? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, cancel that.
Most people have seen it.
They should have. It's been a long time.
Kind of a spoiler.
And also, it's like people were so disappointed.
Anyway, they chose the awesome kid. Go ahead.
Because he was the story holder. So like, And you hear about all these stories, like from the ages, like it's in video games. Like you hear about folklore, and it's like stories that are told through music. And so just the power of having a story to tell, and people will share your story, is huge. It like holds memories, basically.
Yeah.
It's like channeling the Akashic records. I could play a song from Elvis, who made that song 60, 70 years ago.
Most musicians are open channels.
I know.
And they channel it sometimes beautifully, sometimes terribly, sometimes really dark. Maybe they weren't channeling an angel. Maybe they were channeling something darker.
Yeah. I think those people who channel their, like, the voice and the music, you got to be vulnerable to put yourself out there. You got to be vulnerable to channel that and to show people, to let it be like open and shown in public. Mm-hmm. So it takes a lot of courage, and I highly like applaud the people who have the courage to do it. First,
admit that you're seeing angels, or that you're at least willing to connect with them, because you just listened to like 50 minutes of us talk about how we started to get into it.
Yes.
So I think maybe we should do like a part, probably be 2, 3, 4. Like, we're going to talk about this more for sure. This is just a brief, barely skimming the surface of how we connect with angels, and how we hope that you'll reach out and like communicate in the Bring Me to Life challenge group. Like, how do you connect with angels?
Guides, travelers.
Oh, we're going to talk more about those too, because like I said, so angels, you give permission. All right, we're going to stay tuned.
Permission, you got to give permission, because you got free will.
Yeah, free will. You got to give
but
permission.
Apparently travelers, they'll just come and give you whatever
message they want. Sometimes you just need the message, and the universe finds a way.
I think what happens is that we make a soul contract before we incarnate at some specific points in life, where we're like, okay, so listen, universe, if my avatar fucks up this many times,
send my spirit guide instead of my archangel, because my archangel was not getting through. I need that other entity. Yeah. Okay, so we got a part 2 of this. We love you. Comment, let us know where you're listening, subscribe, make sure you do get tuned in with us so you can hear us keep talking about how we connect with energy. Yeah. We want to hear from you. Yes, we're on Instagram. Yes, I'm at Shantastic Shine.
He's Selamon Official.
Mm-hmm. I also have this page where I sell cool stuff. It's called at Shine Shopping Online. It's got jewelry, crystals.
Shine.shopping, or how's that?
Shineshopping.online.
Shineshopping.online.
Because we've used all the .coms in the world.
They're so 2010.
I think shineshopping.com is like light bulbs.
Boom.
It doesn't even exist anymore. Anyway, shineshopping.online. You can find cool stuff that we make. He makes things too. We make cool jewelry. We're doing the artisan thing.
I am making copper electroformed jewelry that takes a lot of practice.
I asked the universe to show me something passionate that could allow me to help the universe, and it said connect with crystals. And
yeah,
when I've given everybody so many crystals, now I want them to like wear them and adorn themselves like the beautiful gods and goddesses that they deserve to be. And you've been helping me make cool stuff, so you can find that at shineshopping.online.
Oh yeah.
Or if Shantastic Shine's easier to remember, you can go there, because you can see cool stuff about card reading and stuff. And then Selamon,
blessed be.
If you're trying to meditate, you want to hear more about channeling and meditating.
Some meditations, so many. I've done about 40 of them now.
You've done way more than that, dude. So Selamon.com will take you
at least 40, 1 week, each week for 40 weeks.
Yeah, but you do more than just that on your YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Your YouTube is like awesome. It's got meditations. It's got
tons of things.
You haven't stayed up to date with the solar flare updates, but that's something I think you're going to get back in.
I have a video. I don't know if it's on there, but I have a video somewhere on YouTube where I got on the news for videotaping aliens, and I got to talk about aliens on Fox.
That's cool. But yeah, go to Selamon.com. It'll take you actually directly to his YouTube. You can look at his cool stuff. Subscribe to it.
Subscribe to me. I am constantly looking to improve, and I think one thing that I'm going to be doing more is self-expression. I'm gonna be
why we're
real big
here.
in the
That's why we're
self-expression.
showing up.
We're gonna show up with music. I'm gonna have a program.
Archangel Jophiel is telling us to be here.
Jophiel, I'm gonna call on Jophiel so much I learned something.
Yeah, and I know to call on Chamuel when I lose shit.
Chamomile, I was gonna say, reminds me of chamomile. So if you want chill vibes like chamomile, call on Archangel Chamuel.
He is the angel of peace.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And Archangel Michael
Thank
is
you,
the
universe.
protector and the warrior.
Yes, he has a sword of truth. Blue lightning.
Raphael is the healer. I just mentioned him at 55 minutes of recording this. You won't probably get all this, by the way. It's just, I think numbers are really cool because they speak to me through numbers, too.
Yeah.
All right. You know where to find us.
Guides
Cool
do channel
places.
through numbers, numerologies.
We're going to just keep recording, but we want to give you guys a break. So that if you need a break, you can go check us out on Cool Places and definitely join the Bring Me to Life challenge. And check out bringmetolife.com and all of the other things. So I want to say stay awake, shine on always, and tune in. Keep tuning in. Keep listening.
Yeah, have a great day. Namaste.
Just going to mark it here. Bye. For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.